and welcome to the Swayam MOOC Telugu language learning series. I am Dr. Miryal Satyanarayana and it's a pleasure to guide you on this journey of learning Telugu. Today I am going to discuss with you about importance of evolution of Telugu script. Let us start. Telugu is written in Telugu script which is derived from Ashokan Brahmi used in South Indian circa 2nd century AD. The first inscription that is entirely in Telugu dates back to 575 AD. Later phase 1022 AD in the development of written language is marked by further stylization and sophistication. During the period of Ketana, that is 13th century AD, the separation of Telugu script from the common Telugu Kannada script took place. Similar to most languages of India, each symbol in Telugu script represents a complete syllable. It is important script. This form of the script is considered to be most scientific by linguists. This syllabic script has been achieved by the use of set of basic symbols, a set of modified symbols and rules. Script is not to terminus with the language. It is only means for visual representation of spoken language. Since a script is associated with a given language for over a millennium, of the grammar of script is often measured with the same yardstick as that is used for language. It is true that historical development of Telugu language, the writing, conversation and tools used for writing has reflection on the Telugu script. However, developing language changes faster than the script that is being used for that language. Therefore, phonological rules that are proper to language shall not be imposed upon the script. Officially, there are 18 vowels, 36 consonants and 3 dual symbols. Telugu script has the capability to represent almost entire phonetic spectrum of all Indian languages. The ease with which the sound and their corresponding character associations can be identified defines the soundness of the script. In that sense, Telugu stands as one of the best scripts in the world while maintaining an extensive sound base. Words in Telugu script are composed of one or more graphic syllables of either a symbol or compound type. The graphic symbols are unlike phonetic. Phonological syllable may not have a vowel as a compulsory component but will have a secondary vowel, halanta symbols, as a necessary component. Telugu script transformation, political influence of the script. The history of linguistic scripts in India followed a total different line from that languages themselves. Telugu belongs to Dravidian family of languages. The Andhra Satavahana dynasty introduced the Brahmi to the present days Kannada and Telugu regions. The early inscriptions found in Tamil Nadu belongs to more or less the same period. A number of early Satavahana coins and other remains were found in Tamil Nadu. It is therefore reasonable to assume that the Satavahana introduced the script to Tamil country also. The Satavahanas were for some time vassal of the Mauryan Empire. Mauryan Empire's Ashoka the Great, region 269 to 232 BCE, and the rise of Buddhism laid stellar roles in the championing the spread of writing. Thus, Telugu and all other South Indian languages had developed from the Proto-Dravidian languages of the Indus Valley while their scripts descended from Brahmi. Since all Indic scripts have descended from the Brahmi, the similarities between modern Devanagari and Telugu scripts will become appear upon close observation. For example, Devanagari, Hindi letter of Ka, if turned by 90 degrees on the side, will resemble Ka in Kannada. If the central bar of this symbol is omitted, it becomes Telugu Ka. The top bar in Devanagari is replaced by the short bar with a curl at the end in Kannada. It becomes a full-fledged tick mark in Telugu. Many such symbol comparison can be made. From the time of the Shalankayanas and Vishnukundinis, the script for the Telugu and Kannada languages began clearly separating from that of the other South Indian and North Indian dialects. Around the time of Vishnukundinis, a development of the great significance in the history of Telugu language took place in the modern day Rayalaseema. All the royal inscriptions till that day used either Prakrit or Sanskrit. This was in spite of the fact that there were a well-developed local language in Telugu land. In Telugu land early phase, the earliest available inscription containing Telugu sentences comes from the Chola kings and is dated 573-576 CE. These Telugu Chola kings had eventually gained prominence and filled the vacuum left by the end of Pallava dynasty. During the next 50 years, Telugu inscriptions appeared in the neighboring Anantapuram and all the surrounding regions. Their act of the patronizing Telugu over Sanskrit had caught, and other kings in Telugu land had begun to follow their lead. The first available Telugu inscription in the coastal Andhra Pradesh comes from about 633 CE. Around the same time, the Chalukya kings of Telangana also started using Telugu for inscriptions. Although Kannada evolved from the South subfamily Old Dravidian and hence has a greater affinity with Tamil than Telugu. The scripts of the two languages were tied together for over 2000 years. This was mainly possible because Telugu Nadu and its neighbor Karri Nadu, mostly consisting of the present-day states of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, were ruled by several kings for over 2000 years who owned their origins and allegiance jointly to both regions. Medieval phase, the period of 12th to 14th centuries, were a glorious era in Telugu history. It was the time of Kakatiya Empire that spread from Warangal in Telangana to control all of the Telugu land directly or indirectly. The Kakatiya Emperor prescribed over a multifold flowering of arts and literature. After the demise of Kakatiya Empire, Telugu was ably supported by the Reddy Kingdom in central coastal districts during the 14th and 15th centuries. The end of Kakatiya Empire also sowed the seeds of the rise of the finest empire in South Indian history at Vijayanagara. This empire oversaw the development of all four southern languages for several centuries. Much has been written about this period. Contemporary phase, the Telugu language has gone through many changes as progressing from medieval to modern. The period of the late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the influence of English on modern communication, printing press as effect of the British rule. About half dozen Telugu works were published in Europe at that time. Tamil had Christian writing and Bible translations from an earlier time. Since the 1930s, what was considered an elite literary form of the Telugu language has spread to common people due to the mass media with various printing techniques. And the internet era made things even more interesting with various design software and font styles, in fact of material and tools, stone and metal inscriptions are the earliest form evidence available to study the development of the scripts. Typically, two types of the stones were used in the region: marble and granite. The inscriptions made on granite takes more effort and skill of the craftsman than that of the marble due to the hardness of the material. The chisel and mallet also play a significant role in transformation of the early script. The early use of metal mallets on metal chisel, the robust geometrical form to the early Brahmi derivatives, whereas the subsequent use of wooden mallet and copper plates gave the craftsmen of the opportunity to explore curvilinear form and ascents to the later forms. Form leaf manuscripts are an important part of the development of many aspects of South Asian cultural knowledge and religious practice. In South Asia, around the 1st century BCE, there was a shift from passing down cultural knowledge orally to written accounts, first in the stone, then on the form leaves, and finally on paper. Thus, for around 2 millennia, manuscripts, and particularly form leaf manuscripts, were the main way that knowledge was transmitted. Form leaf manuscripts is one of the oldest medium of writing in India, especially in southern India. It is also the major source for the writing, painting in South and Southeast Asian countries, including Nepal, Sri Lanka, Burma, Thailand, Indonesia, and Cambodia. Though palm leaf writing was practiced since the ancient time, its precise origin is still unclear. Agarwal ascertains, it is difficult to say exactly when the palm leaf first began to be used for writing. There is no extent of the palm leaf manuscripts in India before 10th century. However, the palm leaf was definitely in use much earlier than this, since it is mentioned as a writing material in several literary works and its visual representation can be seen in several sculptures and monuments. It is almost certain that the earlier manuscripts have been completely destroyed owing to the tropical climate of the region. Further, Richard Salmon ascertains the existence of the palm leaf manuscripts and other materials in the following passage. Before Ashoka, writing was probably used principally, if not exclusively, for economic and administrative as opposed to literary and monumental purposes. Perishable materials such as palm leaves, trees, bark, and cloth, which have a little chance to surviving the rigors of the Indian climate, were used. Thus, according to this view, we need not be surprised that no early specimen of the Indian writing have survived, and their absence does not prove that never existed. Though there are no known dates for the first use of palm leaves as writing surface, there is anecdotal evidence that it was a quite early and that palm leaves were common medium in different parts of the world. One of the earliest reference to palm leaf manuscripts in South Asia is recorded in early Pali Buddhist text from 5th century BCE, which recorded various types of writing materials. In his treatise Natural Historia, Pliny the Elder documented the use of palm leaves for writing materials in Greece and Rome. Palm leaf manuscripts and the Telugu script, since here scribes have recorded a large amount of India's literary and scientific heritage on the available palm leaves, and thousands of these are still preserved in various libraries and museums of India. Given the intellectual tradition of India and Indian culture's inherited knowledge, it is no surprise that a vast corpus of these palm leaf manuscripts have been accumulated over the centuries. But due to the Indian tropical climate, these palm leaf manuscripts could last only for 4 to 5 centuries, after which a new pattern would commission scribes to copy their previous manuscripts onto freshly treated palm leaves. The specific approach to the study of the palm leaf manuscript follows from the present conception of writing as being a part of culture. Since the study seeks to discover a cultural through the various strides seen in the available material, contents, so it is possible to search for different writing materials which can be inferred from the available specimens. The forms in any particular writing materials are not ends in themselves. They are materials for the proper study and analysis of one or other traditional following one or other techniques. Now we are moving to cultural significance. Palm leaf manuscript culture refers to the development and use of the manuscript as means of storing and disseminating information until coming of the age of printing. The early age of manuscript culture consisted of upper caste copying mostly religious text in the place of worship. Medieval manuscript culture deals with the transition of the manuscript from the religious places to the market of urban areas copied by different social groups. Manuscript culture created new jobs built around making, copying and trade of manuscript is still continuing. The late age of manuscript culture existed preceding and during the rise of printing press. Late manuscript characterized by a desire for uniformity, well-ordered and convenient text contained within. During the phase of making, copying and leaf manuscripts had involved people from various caste and creed. In the evolution of art of writing, script and language, the form is an invaluable source which codifies and preserves human expressions. People used palm leaves, birch bark, copper plates, agaru, earthenware, shell, ivory, cloth, wood, etc. to communicate and knowledge and ideas in written form. Now, production of writing materials are an extinct in Orissa except for a written on palm leaf easy availability, scaredness, low cost and suitability lettering. The Oriya writing, due to its round and linear shape facilitated and development of palm leaf man. Generally, the scribe grew from the position of writer who later turned into prolific composer, compose and how to treat his or her subject. It is carefully the palm leaf works of their surroundings, personal style. These skills prepare grounds for the preparation and processing of palm leaf manuscripts, and as an artist produces excellent pieces of painting, producer creates of an extinct tradition copier. People from diverse social groups, irrespective of their divergent caste structure, are involved in the making and preparing even for a single piece of palm leaf folio. Thus, any compartmentalization of palm leaf manuscript writing is not borne out either by the ethnographic data or evidence from colophons of surviving manuscripts. Instead, a far more complex picture emerges by a comparison of this with earlier literary records. It is important that adequate attention be paid to the reporting on production and writing procedure of palm leaf manuscripts and the involvement of scribes for a comprehensive understanding of subject. The subject matter of an Indian form divided into 4 parts: Mangalakarana, or homage to God, or body or text of the manuscript, conclusion or end. In some cases, we found contents in the colophon at the end of the writing. Generally, the colophon, Godakumbura, comes at the end of the manuscript, end of the section or cantos. From the works of the greatest poet Srinada of 14th century AD, we understand that paper was in use in the Reddy kingdom in Andhra Pradesh. Christian missionaries entered India to spread the gospel. They were required to print Bible and other religious books for the spread of the religion, learnt local language, and even prepared dictionaries and grammar books in their languages. Then came to colonial powers to establish their colonies in India. The civil servants were required to learn the local languages for efficient administrative performance. They too required the dictionaries and grammar books in Indian languages. Out of this necessity, the missionaries and the colonial powers developed printing in India in Indian languages. In 1602, the Pope gifted one printing press for use by Jesuit missionaries at Vipikota. Prayer books were printed in Tamil, Malayalam, and Konkani languages in Roman script in this press. Christian religious books written in Portuguese language were translated into Malayalam and printed in Malayalam around 1616. Reprints were made in 1649 and 1654. It is interesting to note that these language books were printed in the Roman script. It is interesting to note that the printing was started in South India in 16th century itself, whereas North India, it took another 2 centuries for the same. The inspiration for designing in Telugu typefaces for printing press was the manuscripts of 16th century. Hence, it is safe to assume that the script reached its highest refinement and maturity during the manuscript era. Conclusions. Various factors contributed to the evolution of the Telugu script. Number 1, the usage of the finer tools during the later stone inscriptions paved path for the development of slight curvilinear forms of Kadamba and Grantha scripts. The production and availability of the Palmyra palm trees, which are slightly thicker and dry than the fan palm in the Deccan Plateau region, where the major development of Telugu script may have contributed to the more sturdier writing posture using the fibrous texture, and the Palmyra palm dictated to use of the round letter forms to avoid flaking and tear of the lip. The tree hand style of using the stylus guntum without of the use of the thumb as a support at the fulcrum gave the script a vertical 3-tier structure, where the words extended below and above the X height. The prevalence of the use of manuscripts as preferred mode of record making till end of 16th century made script adopt the same letter form feature to use on paper and later typeface design of the printing press. Thus, it is safe to assume that the most crucial changes to the Telugu script occurred in the hands of the scribes during the 6th century AD to 17th century AD. Now, I would like to introduce the shape-similar letters in Telugu. Talakatu. In Telugu, the term talakatu refers to small horizontal mark or a tick placed above the certain consonants, and its importance lies in its function to create specific consonant vowel combinations by silencing the inherent a vowel around present in all unadorned Telugu consonants. This means that the talakatu is a crucial dialectic used to denote consonant vowel clusters which are essential for forming the words and proper pronunciation in Telugu script.